I wanted to start with, I told my kids when they're going to go to their school or whatever, I was preparing them for that. And I told them, look, when I'm going to come to Yeshiva and I see people start mercy looking faces as if, oh, sorry, oh, wait, that's not going to work. And I'm going to take all the Yeshiva and say, that's it. We're starting from beginning. Everything is okay. Let's go on. I don't want to be pitied on. I don't want you to feel bad for me. I want you to feel inside and do something about it, but not really always treating me as if I'm miserable. Okay, I don't like to be miserable, and I don't think that that's the right thing to do. So the right thing to do is to go on as if nothing happened, but really from the inside, each guy will do his own thing in order to take this into a point of climbing and getting up, and okay, into a point that he is able to take something from it and to uplift it and not taking it down. Okay, so I just started with that. Happy faces, that's what I want to see. Also in the house, we're joking. Me and the kids and my wife, we're all joking, telling jokes. It's okay, as if everything is normal. But again, we have it from the inside. We speak about it a lot, but everything is calm. Okay, don't feel miserable for me or anything. Especially don't show me a miserable face because it's not helping anything. It's not that it's interfering in me, but I think that it's not healthy for the whole group to behave like that. Okay, so first, I thought about thanking Rav Bina, but I'm not going to do that because Rav Bina doesn't like us to thank him. And whenever I say thank you to Rav Bina says immediately, thank Hashem. So I'm going to thank Hashem for the opportunity to be in Yeshiva, for thanking Hashem for the option of knowing Rav Bina and knowing the Yeshiva and be part of the Yeshiva, which is amazing. And I don't want you to understand it in my situation, but the Yeshiva was just amazing. Rav Bina was amazing. Rav Bina is the first one that got there on Motzei Shabbos. He got into my house, and I wasn't in the house. I was in my father-in-law's house, and Rav Bina went there up and down, and eventually got to the house, and it wasn't the right house, so he came back to Kiryat Yovel. A whole journey over there. He was the first one to come, and he told me immediately, whatever you need, the Yeshiva will give you, the Yeshiva is going to help you. And he said that he'll, Be'ezrat Hashem, will take care of it, that there will be a Sefer Torah, Le'ilu Nishmat, my son, Noam Ben Efrat Esther, and that was really meaningful for me. So again, I'm thanking Hashem for connecting me with the Rav Bina. And besides that, all the Shiva and everything, the Yeshiva just took care of everything, a lot of food and Shabbos and so the Yeshiva was really, really helping us, and all the family around us just were amazed to see how the Yeshiva is supporting, and they said, wow, we never saw such a thing, and it's amazing. So I'm thanking Hashem again for the connection with the Yeshiva and Rav Bina. So as usual, I don't know exactly what I'm going to speak about, but we'll start and we'll see where it's going to take us. Some of you guys were in the Shiva, and I had a chance to speak with them in English, but some of you I didn't have that chance. So maybe you'll hear the stories that you heard or whatever. It's okay. I hope it would be helpful anyway. So I'll start with the way Noam was killed. And I start with that because I think it's important. When they came and told us the story, what exactly happened according to what the army understands, they told us that, I'll start again. Really, Noam was in a house. It was a house that they were controlling from there. They were controlling all the forces, all the units. He was the Kashar Magad. I don't know if you understand what it means, but he was helping the Magad. The Magad is the commander over there. So they were in a house, and he was in the back of the house. And the commander, the officer that was next to Noam, he was really touching him, said that they were facing the back of the house, and suddenly he hears a boom, and he sees Noam flying to the back of the house, and didn't understand what's going on. So immediately he took his gun, he turned around and started shooting, because he thought there's someone in the house that is shooting on them. But then he saw that there's nothing there. So they did an investigation to see exactly what happened, and they understood that there's a missile that was shot from the front of the house, and outside there were tanks that are going on the front, and really there was a missile that was shot on those tanks, and it missed it. On the Shiva, I spoke to someone, he said, yeah, that the guys on the tank said that they heard the whistle of the missile just going next to them, and it got into the house from the front. There were some things over there, just flew them away, and got straight into Noam, to the back. And for us, it's not, he was in a situation, a lot of people got killed, and someone was aiming on him. No, it was a missile that wasn't supposed to be for him, but really was so accurate that you can say for sure, this is a missile that has an address on it. It's supposed to hit him, and that's it. No question about it. It's not, what if? There is no what if. It's a missile that didn't hit the tanks, and it went through the RPG and just hit him. And that was the difficult part in it. This is the deen, this is the judgment that we saw in it. But also we're trying to look at the mercy of Hashem also in the same situation of the deen, the same situation, to look for the mercy that Hashem had on us, the smile that Hashem gave us at that time. And I told guys also, it's just like Yosef HaTzadik, when Yosef is sold into Egypt by his brothers, and probably he felt that the wall just collapsed and everything is bad, and there is no hope. The Torah says that the guys that took him to Egypt, they were carrying perfume. And Rashi says from the Midrash that the tzaddik doesn't need to suffer more than that, meaning Hashem has a very accurate thing, what you're supposed to have, and not a drop more than that. So bad smell for Yosef HaTzadik when he goes to Egypt, that's not something that he's supposed to get. So there is some kind of a smile inside the judgments, a bit of mercy over there. So when we looked at it, there's a lot of mercy over there. The first thing, even though it's a missile, it's an anti-tank missile that is supposed to be exploding everything over there, Noam stayed intact. Again, he was killed immediately, but intact. And we buried him, and he looked really calm, as if he's asleep before the burial. And it was really relief for us. I told guys here that people told us that they bury DNA, meaning whatever they can find, small pieces on rocks or something, that's what they bury, as if that's the body. So that was something meaningful for us as a chesed from Hashem. Another point, again, that he was killed on the spot. He was killed on the spot, and was very important for us. My wife immediately asked, he suffered? And they said, no, he didn't. He died immediately. And we also met all the doctors and everything, and they said that this kind of injury, there is no option that the guy wouldn't die immediately. So that's, again, another thing, that he didn't suffer. And as I said to guys, when someone is supposed to die, there are a lot of ways to die. One of the informers from the army told us that when they knocked on a door of one of the mothers, and she opened the door, she saw them, she understood that they're going to tell her that their son is killed. She says, just not from a dutz. Dutz is dutz dadi, meaning that our soldiers killed one of us. And she said, just not that. So imagine that a soldier killed him, and this guy's going to live all his life with the regret of killing another soldier. It was devastating. But again, there are a lot of other ways, sickness, car accidents, a lot of things. So if Hashem decided that he needs to die, at least that he would get the highest option of death, which is dying on Kiddush Hashem, as a soldier, as a fighter that fights for the nation of Israel, killed by an enemy, by a non-Jew. So that's another comfort. And I said that there's another kind of comfort. I don't know for other people if it's meaningful or not, but for me it was really meaningful. It's the fact that he was the only one that got hit. The guy next to him has a small piece of I don't know, of the missile or something that is in his back, and they don't know where it is. So really, he's not really injured. He's okay. He's walking. He's talking. He's sitting down. Nothing happened. But there's no one else that got hit, and it was important for us because when we spoke to the doctors, they said we were fully with him. If there are other people that are killed or injured, they normally take the bodies to the side and they take care of the injured people. So the focus, the intention is not only with the killed person, and in Judaism it's important not to leave the dead body by itself. So he had the full attention from the beginning to the end. They were all escorting him, having a full attention on him to see whatever he needs there and to do it slowly and the way it should be, and everything is okay. So this is for us important to look on the two sides, even though we got hit. On the other hand, we see the smile and we think that it's very important to look at it. I think this is giving you a different perspective of things, and it's not all dark. There's a bit of light over there, and we prefer to look at the light instead of looking at the darkness. Also, I told guys that were here, that were in the Yeshiva, that I think that it's not only in this situation. This situation is really drastic, but I think it's all over life. It's all over your life, whatever you do, small things, big things, whatever happens to you, you always have to look for the light. You always have to look for the bright point that is giving you the option to stay positive. If you look only at the bad side, and we had parents coming to us in the Yeshiva, there are two kinds of parents. One kind is the parents that come and just collapse. They're all totally broken. They say, my son was killed a year ago, and the guy is just collapsing in front of you. He's not able to speak, and when he speaks, he says that he's trying not to remember anything. He's working and sleeping and eating in order to forget what happened, meaning he is focused only on the dark spots. And there are other families that came and said that they know that that's what happened, but they're trying to grow from that. They're trying to look on the bright sides. They're trying to continue their lives and not to sink in with the grief. And we decided as a family, Be'ezrat Hashem, we decided to look on the bright side. As I said, it's not only in this, it's all over life. It's whatever you do, whatever happens to you. I gave the example, I always give that example, that you walk in the street and suddenly someone hits you really strong on your back. And you turn around, you want to see, whoa, who is this? And suddenly you see your best friend. So you're not going to scream, you're not going to shout, and you're just going to give him a big hug. Wow, I didn't see you for so long. Wow, I'm happy to see you. What has changed? The perspective. Suddenly you understand this is something else. This is not someone hitting me in order to give me bad life, in order to make it painful for me. This is someone that is my friend. So that's different. The perspective is different. And we're trying, Be'ezrat Hashem, that's the goal, to try to look on the positive and to, again, we're not taking off the disaster that happened to us. We're aware of it, we're fully there, but we know that if we're going to concentrate only on that, we're going to collapse, and that's not good. I told people told me, wow, you're such a tzaddik. I said, it's not being a tzaddik, it's just, I want to live. That's it. The other option is not an option for me, because you can see people, they're just gone. One of my friends told me, I didn't know that, but he told me that his brother died in the army 40 years ago, something like that. And he said his parents died out of grief, meaning they couldn't handle it. They didn't take help. They didn't try to come over it. They just focused on the dark side, and they died. So he lost not only his brother, he lost two of his parents because of the same situation. So we don't want to be there, Be'ezrat Hashem. We're trying to learn how to uplift it. Not only not to be falling from that situation, the goal, Be'ezrat Hashem, is to try that whenever we mention the name of Noam, we'll try to uplift. We'll try to remember what he did, and he did it for the Jewish nation, and he died on Kiddush Hashem, and to try even to, maybe I'll cry when I remember that. But again, it wouldn't be a cry of collapsing. It would be a cry of happiness, of proud. I'm being proud of my son, that's what happened at the end. And it's a long way, but we're trying to go that direction. Be'ezrat Hashem. Now I'll tell you a bit about Noam. Noam was a regular kid, fights with his sister, whatever, fights with everyone, and like to play, like to do a lot of things. When he grew in the house, we thought, okay, it's a normal kid, cute, nothing happened, beautiful. And I said in the end of the Shiva, I said that we always knew that Noam was tall. Noam was taller than me, something like that. But we didn't know, we just looked on the outside. We didn't know how tall he was, how big he was from the inside. And it was amazing. In the Shiva, we heard a lot of stories from his soldiers that he commanded on, and from his close friends, and they just opened a window that we just were amazed to see that that's what we had in our house, and we didn't know. I'll give you some examples. Again, some guys heard it, but I'll give you some examples. The one that I like the most is the most basic, is that there was a guy that Noam was doing a shooting range with the guys, with the people, with the soldiers over there, and they succeeded to shoot. When you succeed to shoot, you finished your thing, you go back to the tent, and eventually Noam stayed with one guy that didn't succeed to do the mission, didn't succeed to shoot. So the guy was frustrated. The guy told us that. He was in the first or second day. He told us that. He said, I was frustrated. I took my helmet, threw it on the floor. I said, I can't do it. Leave me alone. And he said that suddenly, Noam came to him, took his credit card out, gave it to him, and said, you have 2 minutes to go to the store, buy 2 XLs, and be back here. I don't know if you know how it works in the army, but there is something that is called Ptach Sha'on, meaning look at your watch 2 minutes from now. And you have 2 minutes, and you have to do it. So the guy said, no way, what are you talking about? He says, it's an order, now. And the guy ran and bought the things and came back. And eventually he drank the XLs, and eventually the guy succeeded to do whatever he was supposed to do. So for me, it was very nice to see how he succeeded. You know, you have your way in life. You have a way of doing something. And a lot of times, also as a parent, you have your way. I'm doing something. This is my way of educate. This is the way I educate my kids. And you say, you're not allowed to do this. That's it. Sometimes you don't know where to stop and to say, wait, maybe I need to change direction. Maybe I need something else. Maybe to change my basic way, as if it's not going to work all places. Sometimes I need to change. And it's really difficult as a parent, I'm saying that. Even as a parent, it's really difficult suddenly to change and to switch to something else. And Noam was able to do that. And it was amazing because the guy said after that's it. From then on, he was charmed by Noam. And whatever Noam told him to do, he was running after him, doing whatever he wanted. No problem. That's it. He saw that he was so connected to him that he says, that's it. I'm staying. I like this guy. I want to be there. Another guy told us that when they were in the army in the beginning, a few months, he decided that the army is not for him. It was too difficult for him. He felt frustrated, and he said, then that's it. I'm not going to do it. I'm going to fail. So he wanted to drop the army, to leave the army, to play as if you have problems, issues, and go to the psychologist, okay, a kind of a psychologist over there, and say, that's it, I'm going to do something to myself, and eventually they're going to release you from the army. So he told Noam something small about it, that he thinks that he's going to leave the army, and that's it. Noam took care of it, that he will be with him, guarding for 4 hours, and they went. The guy said, the way he succeeded to change him from the beginning of the 4 hours to the end was amazing. He changed his perspective of the army, of life, on everything. And the guy now is about to finish kurs makim, meaning he's going to be a commander himself. So it's amazing to see someone that was about to drop from the army and suddenly he wants to be a commander. And he said it was only on 4 hours. So I told the guys, from a lot of stories, I told him it seems as if Noam was kissing you all day, was petting you and saying, wow, I love you, I love you. And I said, no way. This guy was cruel. This guy was... That's the way it should be in the army. And when you're a sergeant or something, you're supposed to give discipline to the guys. And he took them to the edge, for sure. But on the other hand, we always knew that he cared about us. He cared about us from the inside. And we appreciated that. Even though he was harsh, but still, we always knew from a lot of options that they had a peek to see what's going on in his heart, to see that from the inside, he really appreciates them, he cares about them. While Noam got into being a commander, he was never in the gdud, meaning he was never really in the real army. There is the training. You start at Tirunut, and then you do Imun Mitkadem. That's 8 months that you do in the army. And then most people go to the Gdud. The Gdud is all the soldiers that you see that guard and fight and go to Gaza, all those guys. But Noam didn't go there. They sent him immediately into being a commander. So he went to a course, he made for I don't know exactly how long, 4 months or something like that, in order to be a commander. Now the thing is that he has no experience. He was never doing those things. He was never getting into an Arab village with people. He was never guarding next to Lebanon, nothing. He was always in his training. So when they all came in to be commanders in the Gdud, each guy goes to a different unit over there in the Gdud. And they gave Noam the Vatikot. Vatikot meaning that's the oldest people in the army. This is people that are about 2.5 years in the army, a bit little, maybe less than that, maybe more than that. So those guys, I don't know if you understand what's going on in the army, but normally those guys feel that I'm old, that's it. You can't tell me to do anything. Even officers come to them and say, come on, you have to do this. We're not going. What? We're not going. What are you going to do to us? Take us put us in jail? Okay, no problem, we'll go to jail. They're very attached, they're very united, and they're very old, and they feel that they don't have to do anything. And they got Noam as a commander. And again, this is a guy that was never doing anything. He has no experience, he has nothing. So you would say, whoa, what's going on here? And one of his friends, Noam's friends, told us that Noam told them, I don't care about their age, I don't care about anything. I'm going to treat them as if they're my little brothers, as if they're my kids, because I'm their commander, I care about them, I'm going to give everything to them as if they're my little brothers. So he went there and he started talking with guys. He took each guy to the side, spoke to him on the side, understood him, his family, what's going on with him, what's his relationship with his parents, everything, spoke to him a few minutes. And this way, all the guys were connected. They were connected to Noam. It was amazing. Those guys came and they spoke. And I was shocked because I was waiting for them to come, because if you pass that the oldest people in the army are going to be connected to you and going to listen to you, this is something amazing. It's not easy at all. And those guys came and they said, look, we felt that he cared about us, and that's why whatever he said, we did it with him. And once they were working for, I don't know, almost a full day, guarding and then going with the car and then another mission to do. And the guys were, whoa, that's it. Noam said to them, look, I'm a commander. I can sit on the side and I can send you. But I'm coming with you, okay? Because I care, because I feel that we need to do it together, so let's do it. And the guys just got up and did it with him. Connecting. And the best thing about it, we didn't understand, again, how big it is. There were a lot of stories, but the friends that he was used to meet when he came back from the army to the house, when we heard that, we were shocked. The guys were telling us stories and we were, what? It sounds a bit strange, I must say. One guy told us that whenever Noam came to his house to eat, before Noam came, he would buy a 5-liter beer, take off the shelves from the refrigerator, put it inside for 3 days to get cold, and he would have steaks in his house and would do steaks. And one of the guys wanted to take a bite from the steak. No, wait, no, don't touch it, don't touch it. What's going on? And then Noam would come and Noam would eat, and then this guy knew, what do you say? He said, wow. And the guy said, wow, I was so happy when he said it. I wanted him to feel good. I wanted him to care. You don't understand. Another friend, again, it's a small group, but 14 people, something like that. Another friend said, whenever I have a haircut, I would take a photo of myself, send it to Noam. First, send it to Noam. What do you say? Noam says, wow, amazing. The guy says, all day long, I'm just walking, flying there, feeling so good. Noam liked my haircut. And I'm thinking, what are you talking? You're talking about my son? What's going on here? It's crazy. It's a bit weird, I must say. Again, it's a bit weird, but it's another guy and another guy and another guy and another guy. A different guy bought a coffee machine, a really fancy coffee machine. So he said, no, Noam is the first one to take coffee from this coffee machine. So everyone was trying to, no way, Noam is the first one. He was waiting until Noam would come from the army, and then he's the first one that got the coffee machine. He got the coffee, and that, wow, amazing. Now, or that, I don't know, you had a spell on them. No, really, it's scary. It's scary. I feel it's scary a bit. This kind of attitude. Again, he was telling guys, yalla, we're going, I want to come. Everyone after him, as if he is. Eventually we understood he had a nickname. They called him, one of the friends gave him that name, and they all called him this name, the Admor. And I say, what? He wasn't exactly an Admor, but they all felt, it was shocking, they all felt as if, wow, Noam, I want to see him, I want to speak with him, and I was thinking, what's going on here? So one of the guys explained it, not those guys, a different guy explained it and said, Noam knew how to touch you. He said, when we gathered, a lot of friends, suddenly Noam was looking at me and he saw that I have something with my parents or something with someone else. That took me to the side, said, what's going on? You're not feeling that? Huh? I told him I felt relief and I felt that someone cares about me. He knew how to connect to a person. And when I thought about it, I said, wait, in order to do that, you have to be aware of the normal situation of a person, meaning I know all the people that I know, and I know what's the normal situation. And when it's changed, I have that attention of seeing that something is changing that guy, and I go to him and I say, what's going on with you? You're not feeling good. Something is going on. So Noam had that option, and this way he touched people. And people were connected to him. And it was, again, it got into places that I don't know, strange, but okay. But it was amazing to see that. And when I look at Noam as my son, we never know that. We never knew that. We knew that his sisters admire him. there was no option, by the way, there was no option of fighting with Noam, especially not when he got older. There was no option of really fighting with Noam because already backed out, already it was all smiling. His sister said in the Hespedim that if she saw that she's walking, suddenly he will throw a pillow on her face just to take a smile out of her. So all the fights and it was games just in order to have some happiness in the house, but not really fighting as really, I'm angry. The sisters between themselves are really good at it, but with Noam, no option. It wasn't a thing. They were also admiring him. It was amazing. But then you reveal that it's not only in the house. Okay, I understand. It's the big brother, the guy, and he was in the army, so they're all feeling, okay, I understand that. But suddenly you meet that with the friends in the army, and you see that with the soldiers that are under his command in the army, and suddenly you see that with his close friends, and you understand that there was a diamond that was walking in this house, and you weren't aware of that. And it's shocking for us, because I thought he's a regular kid, but suddenly you hear stories as if this guy was a mentor for a lot of people, and it's not what you used to. So this way I explained what my wife said, Pirush Rashi to my wife. I don't know if that's what she meant, but never mind. When she said in the funeral, she said that she's thankful for the 21 years that we had with Noam. After that, she says, so take your kids, the kids that you still have, and give them a hug and love them. And so simple understanding is while they're here, kiss them and love them. But I thought about it more and I said, look, maybe the same way we revealed it, that Noam was a diamond, that we didn't know that, it could have been that if he wasn't getting killed, I wouldn't know that forever. Meaning 80 years from now, I would still understand that my son is a nice kid and he's helpful, but I would never know that. So maybe, and probably, we all have diamonds around us, if it's friends, if it's family, and we need just to hug them and understand that this is another diamond, and don't just wait until something chas v'shalom happens to find out that thing. You can understand that this is diamond even before you saw that, and I think it's amazing. Another thing, I'll just finish with the parsha. The last parsha we read that the Meraglim, they were talking against Eretz Yisrael, and Hashem decided, that's it, you're not going to get into Eretz Yisrael. And when you read the psukim, the next psukim is, when you'll come to the country, when you come to Eretz Yisrael, then, and you're looking, what's going on? On first glance, it seems as if Hashem says to them, look, you missed it. If you wouldn't been okay, then you would come to the country, to Eretz Yisrael, and you'll get this and this. But now you didn't, as if finger to the eye. But really, no, it's exactly the opposite. Hashem says so that the nation of Israel was saying, that's it, we're not going to get into Eretz Yisrael. 40 years from now, who says it's going to happen? Maybe we're not going to get into Eretz Yisrael. Immediately, Hashem says, relax. When you'll come to the country, you'll do this and this, giving them a bit of a comfort to see that the dream of Eretz Yisrael is not erased. It's just postponed for 40 years, but really it's going to happen. Relax. But the interesting thing is that the Torah is commanding over there on the Nesachim and the Mincha. Whenever you bring a sacrifice, you need to bring with it Nesachim and Mincha. Nesachim is wine in certain amounts, it depends on the Korban. And Mincha is also offering from the plants. And the question is, why suddenly now it's so important to speak about the Nesachim? Why it's so important to speak about the Mincha now, right after Chet HaMeraglim? So I don't know, by the way, but I thought of two things. One, is that a sacrifice, normally when you bring a sacrifice, it's from an animal. And Hashem said, look, you need to understand and to appreciate the land of Israel, to be connected to the land. So when you bring a sacrifice, it's not enough that you'll bring a sacrifice from something that was walking on the ground. I want you to be connected to the ground itself, so I want you to be something that is a plant, something that grows from the ground. So that's why you have to bring those things. Maybe. But if you think about it, the sacrifice costs a lot of money, and a bit of wine and a bit of wheat doesn't cost too much. But still, it's meaningful. I always have that connection, that full connection to the land. Maybe that's the idea, I don't know. And what I took from that to my personal life is that even though there is a Rambam. Rambam says, if you have, let's say, 1,000 shekels, $1,000, and you want to give tzedakah, what's better? To give it all at once, or to give it shekel by shekel every day, dollar by dollar every day, or at the same day to give it to one guy, another guy, and another guy. And I'm talking about, this is probably, there's a lot of big discussion on this Rambam, but probably this is from the perspective of you and not from the perspective of the guy who gets it. So the Rambam says it's better to give not all at once, it's better to give it in small amounts. And the Rambam says why? Because it influences you better. When you do a big action, as big as it is, you gave a donation of $2 million. But you gave the donation and that's it, it's finished, erased. After 2 minutes, after a day, 2 days, that's it. So your generosity, you worked on it, but you did something big, but it was only once. And in order to have an influence on you, you have to do something again and again and again and again. It doesn't matter if it's big. You have to do something again and again and again, even if it's small. So says the Rambam, it's better to give every day a small amount, and eventually this way you're going to be much more generous. You're going to influence the inside. You're going to change yourself by doing the same action again and again and again. So I thought about it that even though we gave a sacrifice, and it's a big sacrifice, maybe the biggest sacrifice, I don't know, but we gave a sacrifice to Hashem. I think that still we need the small bits, we need the nesachim, we need the mincha to connect us to Hashem, meaning that it won't stop over there with the big thing that happened once in your life, and that's it. You always have to sacrifice small things, offering to Hashem in order to stay connected. So even though you brought a big sacrifice, you still need to bring small sacrifices, small offerings, in order to stay with the connection, to understand that it's not all about big, it's also something small that you have to connect to. So that's why when we're thinking about it, we're trying to see how can we take from the death of Noam, how can we take something to our life, to work on it, and to do small things in our lives in order to get still closer to Hashem. We made a sacrifice, yes, but I don't want it to be just a sacrifice and leave it there. One of the Rebbeim in Yeshiva and another guy, they told me a nice pshat. There is Hamakom Yenachem Etchem. That's what we say, Hamakom, the place. The place normally would mean Hashem, that Hashem will give you comfort. But he gave me another explanation, and I liked it very much. Hamakom is the spot, the space. Meaning, when the person is here in this world, he is doing something. He has a place, he has a spot that he is doing. And when he's gone, that space is empty. So Hamakom, this space will give you comfort. Comfort, how? When you'll try to fill it in. When you'll try to fill that place that is missing, this would give you comfort. And it means, for me, that since I saw that Noam was able to connect to people so deeply, and probably he did it by understanding them and caring about them, I think that for us, in order to fill that gap, we need to take it upon ourselves to look on others, to see what's going on with them, to care more, and to connect more to people. I don't know if we'll succeed to get to his level, probably not, but some of it, in order to take that sacrifice and to fill it in with small sacrifices, offerings to Hashem, to stay connected, Be'ezrat Hashem. So, thank you for listening. I'm sorry that it was really long. I didn't look at the time, sorry. I wish that Be'ezrat Hashem will all be zoche to see the Yeshuot and Nechamot that Hashem is going to send us, and especially in those days that Hashem just changed the world. While I was sitting Shiva, really, the world got changed, and Iran and everything, and it's amazing to see where Hashem is leading us, and maybe, I don't know, maybe soon, Mashiach, Tchiyat HaMetim, maybe we're going to meet Noam again, sooner than we thought, and Be'ezrat Hashem that we'll all have nechama and be happy. And I just remind you again, act normally, okay? Really, it's important. Act normally. I don't need to be pitied for. Trust me, I have a lot of mercy for myself, and I look at myself and pity. It's okay, but still, act normally. I want it to be the same connection. I don't want it to be. Someone told my wife, one of the informers told my wife that when she's going to see her in the street, she's going to walk to the other side, because she is the one who told her that her son died. So she feels, my wife told her, I'm going to chase you, and I'm going to catch you, and I'm going to give you a big hug, because the way you did it was amazing. They came with a lot of compassion, a lot of love, and we felt thankful for them for doing it in the right way. So also with you guys, if you're going to run away, I'm going to chase after you. Shkoyach, thank you guys. Thank you. Shkoyach.